In 1959, a group of Boston business executives were awarded the final team in the new American Football League, naming them the Boston Patriots, and later the New England Patriots after they moved to the town of Foxborough. They lost one Super Bowl in the mid-'80s and another in the mid-'90s, but then in the 2000s, they put together the most successful dynasty in NFL history, winning 6 Super Bowls in 18 years in the Brady-Belichick era. So what's it like rooting for a franchise that, out of nowhere, becomes the greatest and most hated team in the history of the sport? Let's find out. I'm Dan Hopper, and this is Thrill of Defeat. My first guest today is a very funny stand-up comedian whose most recent special, Positive Reinforcement, is available on YouTube. He also writes the excellent That's Marvelous newsletter at that'smarvelousnewsletter.com. Say hi to Josh Gondelman. Josh, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. And hello to the listeners who I'm sure said hi to me out loud as well.
Yeah, there's a huge studio audience. Did I not mention that? I don't.
Oh, yeah, I can hear them applauding. They almost drowned you out. You
crazy.
said my name and it was just, I thought there was like a plane landing behind you. That's how loud it was.
Yes, I'm probably just going to have to edit around that. There's too much applause. I'm going to have to do like, in the old, where they used to sweeten applause for like the old, like I Love Lucy or something, but I'm going to have to like go in after and add less applause.
And bring it down. Yeah,
there's too many
feeling
laughs.
kind of Bernie Mac on Def Comedy Jam levels of applause right now.
Yeah, that's just what happens. Plus, I mean, I have like the latter area of Married with Children where just when I come out on stage, I get applause for like 6 minutes. So
yeah, we're Kramering.
I'm going to have to cut. I mean, the listeners aren't going to hear any of that because I will have cut it all out by now. And our second guest today, one of my favorite people on, well, not Twitter anymore, but Blue Sky, is the writer of the newsletter Welcome to Hell World, and his new book, We Had It Coming, is available now. Luke O'Neill. Thanks so much for being here, Luke.
Hello.
Thank you for pausing for the applause. I appreciate that.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
I pushed right through it.
I wanted to bring the temperature of the room down a little bit with my enthusiasm.
I think we could all bring the temperature down in this country right now.
When my temperature gets too high, I like to take Tylenol.
Oh, no!
Wow, you had to make it political right off the bat,
episode.
Luke.
Oh, my God. The full weight of the government is trying to... they deleted 8,000 of my 5-star reviews. That's why there's like none of them up there. God damn.
This is inevitably going to be political because I think me and Josh are probably the only lefty Boston sports fans in the world.
Well, we're certainly going to careen into that eventually. So yes, today we will be talking about the New England Patriots. A lot of my previous episodes have been about tortured fan bases. And this is such the opposite that it's interesting in another way. This is like formerly tortured team that became such a dynasty that then everyone hated them. I guess you're lucky in sports if you ever have any of your teams go on a run like this in your lifetime. But certainly the 2000s Patriots, probably the most hated team of my lifetime. I don't know if you guys found that like.
I would say the New York Yankees of any year. To me, are the most hated team.
Yeah,
people really do hate the Patriots, and it's for good reason, I suppose. I would hate any team that won for that long and that consistently. But I mean, the fact that you say that we're not tortured, I mean, I'm still tortured, and I was tortured the entire Tom Brady era. I would still be pissed off if they didn't win a game. Or the expectation was, and this is probably why people hate the team and hate us as fans, is that if they didn't win the Super Bowl, then it was a failure, And I think they only went to the Super Bowl every other year. So, I mean, you can see there was...
Yeah.
But just because your team wins all the time doesn't mean you can't be pissed off when they lose.
That's true.
And that's what being from Massachusetts means.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. And I know you mentioned the Yankees. They're the same way. It's just like, sports talk radio in New York is always at 10 out of 10 angry.
The one that gets me, I've lived in New York for about 14 years and I've
Sell
adopted...
out.
I've adopted the Liberty as my one New York team,
He's
but
wearing a Yankees jersey right now. Oh
I
my
get
God.
out of here. I'm wearing a Boston Red Sox hat where the B's are the Dunkin' orange and pink
Okay. All right, fine.
D's. Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Boston Red Sox hat that's in the Bruins
The
colors.
Bruins colors.
Okay.
That's beautiful. The sports fan base that is has the like 0 to 60 and 60 to 0 the fastest is the Knicks fans for sure. They
Yeah.
like Knicks win 3 in a row and everyone's like, "We're back." And you're like, "Back from where? You haven't been good in
Yeah.
50 years."
Well, they just fired Tom Thibodeau, and my entire feed was like, "Fire Tom! What is Tom doing? What is?" And I'm like, I don't follow the Knicks closely, but I'm pretty sure this is your first relevant season in like
20
25
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Right. Like I
but
remember I couldn't even really get it up to get pissed off at the Knicks when they were playing the Celtics.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like that's not a rivalry anymore.
I would say that all the time. Desus and Mero disagreed,
Oh,
Uh,
but that's because they have that Knicks fan thing of like everyone is coming for the Knicks. It's like most people aren't thinking about the Knicks.
yeah.
no.
Like, so let's start at the beginning, I guess. Where did you guys grow up, and how did you first become Patriots fans, or just Boston sports fans in general?
So I grew up in the South Shore of Massachusetts, which is the diametric opposite of, I believe, where Josh grew up on the
That's
North
right.
Shore. So that's a little bit of a rivalry
Hmm.
in itself.
Real roast beef versus bar pizza
That's
rivalry.
right, right. Well, we call it bar pizza, actually, those of us on the South Shore. I don't think maybe I'm deluding myself, but I don't think I really have much of an accent as much as I used to. And I don't think you do either, Josh. But what is the sort of turnkey phrase that you use when you want to get into
Oh, this is easy. It is, are you serious right now, kid?
it? That's good. Mine's kind of like overdone. It's like, you think you're fucking better than me?
Yeah. Oh, that's the classic. They
You
should
think you're
they should
fucking
put
better?
that on the signs at the city limits of the city of
Yeah, yeah,
Boston.
yeah. Get the fuck out of
Now leaving on the way out though. Now leaving the city of Boston. You think you're fucking better than me, guy?
I wish we had added. I want one of you to play like a character. Like this is an old, like one of those old audio programs. Where it's like, yeah, yeah, here comes Southie Luke.
You could just have one of my family members. They sound like fucking shit, man. They sound
Yeah.
like you wouldn't believe it. But so I grew up in the South Shore, which is it's kind of in between Boston and the Cape. A typical thing about your dad. My dad was a Boston sports fan, and you got into the Patriots from a pretty young age. I played football all my life, and I remember having this really sick Stanley Morgan jersey. It wasn't not like a jersey. There used to be this weird material with like the holes all in them that you'd wear over your shoulder pads. It was this, but anyways, it was my proudest possession. And so I followed the team. I remember the Super Bowl '80 against the Bears. And I wasn't like an obsessive nerd about it, but really became obsessed with it for obvious reasons in the Brady era.
Mhm. Josh, you grew up in the North, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
almost the North Shore. I
North
think
Shore.
people truly from the closer to the shore would say no, but North Shore is kind of like as close to an identifying feature as where I grew up as.
Mhm.
And I was, similarly indoctrinated by family from a very young age. I was very small in 86. I had like a squish the fish like onesie maybe for like anti-dolphins, which like hasn't been a thing since then. Like that's not even a rivalry anymore.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I remember being pretty into the Patriots in the 90s. Like I remember the Drew Bledsoe era and the end of that when he got hurt and Brady took over as quarterback. One year instead of a birthday cake, my dad made a batch of brownies and then kind of using like the gel frosting made like a yard line markers and an end zone and the candles were like tilted to resemble players in motion.
Oh,
Um,
badass.
yeah, it was great. And that was like part of the birthday activity. It was just like, oh, my birthday's in January, so it lines up with the playoffs. And so yeah, it's like a big family thing. And my dad's side of the family is like very New England sports centric. Like it's a lot of, like if there's like a family reunion in the summer, the Red Sox are on TV and like half the family kind of drifts in and like
Mhm.
watches on my cousin's TV and stuff. So it
Yeah.
is like a real family thing. And I've kept it an extremely petty thing, extremely petty resentment that I have is like people who move to New York or LA from Massachusetts for like entertainment industry reasons and then immediately start wearing Dodgers and Yankees apparel.
Oh yeah.
It is like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, you fucking fraud. I
Yeah,
can't trust
totally.
you for a second.
Uh-huh. So I really have no personal recollection of the Patriots really before the Bledsoe Bill Parcells era. Bill Parcells hired in 1993. They draft Drew Bledsoe first overall from Washington State. And then they're suddenly pretty good in the mid to late 90s. But before that, where were the Patriots in the Boston sports hierarchy? Because there's such a big Bruins fan base. Obviously, the Red Sox are an institution, and then the Celtics are coming off an incredible decade. So were the Patriots like fourth at the time?
Yeah, I believe so. And it's like I think the NFL wasn't what it is now back
Mhm.
then. I think football still might have been a little bigger than hockey back then. But no one gave a shit as anywhere near as much as they do now. It was Red Sox and Celtics, through the 80s and 90s until that Parcells and Bledsoe little chunk for a few years there.
It also kind of coincided with like the Celtics being pretty bad after Larry Bird retired, and the Red Sox kind of being like lost in the wilderness after like coinciding with Roger Clemens leaving and stuff. So like the Patriots really filled that power vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm So where did you guys watch the 1996 Super Bowl? So this is 96 season. Super Bowl was in February 97. The Parcells Bledsoe Patriots faced the Packers in the Super Bowl,
And
and
there
all
was
of a sudden,
Desmond Howard had two return. Was it Desmond Howard had two
yes,
return touchdowns
yeah,
in that Super Bowl? Very heartbreaking. I was in my family's living room for sure,
yeah.
watching with my folks. Yeah.
I have a memory of watching that game in a dorm room at Holy Cross. I'm definitely the most famous Boston sports fan to come out of Holy Cross. That's for sure.
Certainly the most famous podcasting Boston
Certainly the
sports
most famous
fan.
That's why
podcaster.
we call you the Sportsman.
Yeah. They call me Uncle Sports Tits. But yeah, and it was miserable, obviously, and I probably left, stormed back to my dorm room where I didn't even drink yet at the time, and I don't know how I regulated my emotions back then without alcohol, but it sucked. And I have this vague memory. I was trying to remember what was. This is some friend's room across the hall, and I also have this vague memory of watching some green night vision CNN bombing that we were doing that same year. I can't even remember what the
Was it like
conflict was.
the Serbia, like Bosnia?
That might have
Kosovo
been what
thing?
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two, whenever I think, that's the only two things I can think of from that dorm room this friend of mine had was the Patriots losing and watching people being bombed. I'm not sure which was worse.
Yeah.
I had a similar in '03 after the Aaron Boone home run. I had to, my friend Matt, grew up in Newton, Massachusetts, who I went to college with. We were watching it, I think my dorm room. And after the Aaron Boone home run, we were with a lot of kids from New York and New Jersey that were like, ah, and he was like, I'm gonna fight everyone in this room. And I was like, let's take a walk, bud. Like, we had to like walk around the campus.
Oh my God.
To avoid a fist fight.
I have, one of the most notable times I came the closest to getting in a fight about sports was after the Giants ending the perfect season, and then like it's so stupid to think about it, but like to fight somebody over sports. But
Yeah.
I really had to control myself. That I was at some big party, and but it's just so stupid to be a sports fan. These guys had it coming, though, to tell you the truth.
I watched
I don't
that
think
one
any
in New
jury would
York.
convict. I mean, if they beat up a Patriots fan for being mad about the 16-0 being spoiled, I don't think anyone in the world
19
would
and 0
have
being spoiled.
That's
19
right.
0. Yeah, I don't think anyone would have
Like that
taken
is
your
worse.
guys' side. I'm sorry.
That's worse to me. That's another thing about being a shithead Patriots fan is those Super Bowl losses. I remember those hurt more than the other ones that you won, because you're supposed to win the Super Bowl. So when you don't, it stings more, And again, fully cognizant that that's the type of thing that any other sports fan would think I'm a complete dickhead for saying, but this is a place of truth and honesty as far as I understand.
There are Bills and Vikings and Jets fans setting their phones on fire right now.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
They should. That's what they deserve.
Yeah, looking back at this night, I remember that 97 Super Bowl, and I remember thinking, it was like Brett Favre's time, quote unquote, to
Yeah.
win the Super. The Patriots were kind of this like didn't really give them much thought. They performed Los Del Rio performed the Macarena before the game, and then the
That's
halftime.
like if you were writing a
I
movie about
know.
1997, you're like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
1997 can we make this?
Yeah, it's on the TV in the background of a scene before the scene starts to let you
Right,
know what year it
exactly.
is. Yeah, exactly. And then the halftime show was the Blues Brothers. It was Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, and John Goodman as the Blues Brothers performing with like
Leading up
ZZ
to Blues
Top.
Brothers 2000.
I think so. Yeah. So
Wow,
man,
that's pretty cool.
yeah,
That was the Super Bowl halftime show.
yeah.
Anybody who complains about like, oh, I can't believe Rihanna or whoever is before, it's like the Super Bowl halftime shows used to be so bad.
Yeah.
No, one year it was like a magic trick. It was like a singing magician who did a magic trick with the crowd that like didn't work. So yeah, so the Parcells Bledsoe era goes into the Parcells leaves. They hire Pete Carroll. They're okay in the late 90s. But then in 1999, Pete Carroll leaves and they hire Bill Belichick, who was an assistant under Bill Parcells. Went to the
people listening to this podcast might know him more as the head coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels.
Oh yeah. That's what
Just for
comes to
context.
mind first. Yeah. But yeah, he had a short but eventful stint with the New England Patriots before his college career.
I'm not usually too judgmental about age gap relationships, but like 50 years, I feel like that's one that you can be. That's a bit much.
It feels almost comical because like the conventional wisdom, right, is like, oh, it's so gross. Like a guy dates a woman half his age, and it's like, nope, 1/3 his age.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
But I mean, when you got the looks and the style of Bill Belichick, it's hard to resist.
Who could resist
that
it?
drip?
Yeah.
His clothes look like they are literally dripping off his body because they're so baggy.
It is dripping with lots and lots of sweat because it's heavy sweats. Anyway, so they
she's going to be president. I will say.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past her.
yeah.
All you need now is a complete lack of shame and just ruthless ambition. And you seem to be able to do pretty well with that combo these days.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah. So Bill Belichick, he was an assistant with Bill Parcells. He's on the Jets. He resigns as Jets head coach. They trade a first-round pick to the Jets for the right to hire Bill Belichick. And he comes over, and then within a year, they give Drew Bledsoe a 10-year extension. At the time, Belichick came over. Did you have any idea what was kind of about? I know obviously you weren't expecting 6 Super Bowls, whatever, but were you excited, or is this kind of just like a run-of-the-mill regular coach hire?
Do you remember, Josh? Because I don't really remember
It
that.
Seemed like it was that eventful
much.
at the time.
I don't remember it like feeling like a seismic shift. This wasn't like, he didn't feel at the time like a splashy coaching hire necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had coached the Browns on his own too, and didn't do great, and then went back to coaching with Parcells as an assistant. So it was like,
I think I was just graduated college around then, and I moved to New York City, home of Josh Gondelman.
It's weird that people called it that.
City
then,
that never doesn't have Josh in it.
So I lived there for a little while. I coincidentally left a little bit, like August of 2001. I had to get out of town for a while, but it was a bit
insane timing.
But,
wait,
but there was
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's incredible timing. Jesus.
I think it was probably something to do with it being harder to follow Boston sports, and we take it for granted how easy it is to follow your team anywhere.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
These days,
My good friend Dan Bulger, who's like one of the funniest comedians, he's just great, and we're in a 3-person Celtics group text when he was living in New York for about a year, and when the Celtics traded for Kevin Garnett, it was like he found out at night and just got in his car and drove back to Massachusetts.
Really?
He was just like, I gotta go.
I gotta be among my people right now.
I
don't remember. I mean, he was back and forth a lot, but I think he was like, something is calling me. Like, it's like how birds know to fly south.
It wasn't like the playoffs started that night. Like,
no, it wasn't even the season.
It was the summer. Yeah. I just gotta bask in knowing that he's on the roster.
Yeah,
Just
he was like, this
yeah.
means something.
Just has the roster around his face, like those one of those tan things that you use to like
That's
help
right.
you
Those
tan, and he's just
reflective.
like
Yeah.
he's just like getting life from it somehow. Yeah. So in 2000, the Patriots go 5-11. Bledsoe signs his extension, and then the next year they lose the first two games. That was the season. The first game happens, then 9/11 happens. The league goes on hiatus for 2 weeks.
Which was, I would say the Patriots were not the hardest hit by 9/11 of all the people in America.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, that people are not paying that close attention to this team at the
Luke
time
had already
for
gotten out of
other reasons.
town.
I was
Yeah.
gone. I had to lay low for a little while.
Yeah, so then Bledsoe gets hurt in the first game after the hiatus, and they put in the 6th-round pick from Michigan named Tom Brady, the completely unheralded draft pick. They end up going 11-3 the rest of the season. They get the number 2 seed. And then in the playoffs, I feel like the first instance of what would soon become 20 years of people hating the Patriots. Although they weren't the Patriots at the time, so people weren't that mad at the time. Now retroactively,
People I think are madder now than they were then.
oh yeah, people retroactively now.
People were actually kind
are
of
like-
liked them that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was kinda
not
like a
me,
feel-good
but
story.
everyone else.
Wow.
They beat the Steelers in the AFC title
That's
game.
true.
Although
That's
the Steelers
right.
would have blown, I feel like they could have just as easily blown it against the Raiders. But anyway, the Tuck Rule game in 2001 season playoffs. Famously, the Patriots are trailing the Oakland Raiders. Tom Brady goes back to pass. He goes to pass, and then he goes to tuck the ball in so he can run with it. He gets hit by Charles Woodson, stripped of the ball. Oakland recovers the football, but there's an obscure rule in the rule book that says if you go to pass, then in the act of tucking the ball to run, you fumble, it still counts as a forward pass. It's still like an extension of the act of passing, even though you are holding it as a runner and basically running. So it's this weird rule that
Probably
no
one
one
of the
knew.
best rules I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's like really sensible.
I agree. That's a good rule.
Yeah.
Good
There's a
rule,
whole
good call on the field.
Only good results.
there's a whole 30 for 30 of Tom Brady and Charles Woodson, who were Michigan teammates. Desmond Howard, also Michigan guy. Interesting, Michigan being woven into the story here. But where they basically watch the play and argue for the entire time over whether or not it should have been a fumble or not.
That rules.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it's probably the right call, but it's bullshit. It's such a bullshit
Yeah, that's
weird
right.
rule.
I'll concede that it was the right call and it's a stupid rule. I think I watched that at a party at my friend Corey J's house. She lived right around the corner from me. It was like a bunch of kids we all knew. This was also, I remember so specifically, like the music of 2001 was playing at this party where I believe I have like vivid memories of hearing the Thong Song, Blue by Eiffel 65, and Around the World by Daft Punk,
Daft
all
Punk
at this
song?
party.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
like, we're listening to the music of now.
Man, this whole thing between that and the Macarena, it's like a Forrest Gump style, like
Truly.
just
yeah.
like so queued up to the era, like to the point where it's like, this isn't real. But yeah, that's great.
It's like whenever they're in Vietnam, you got to listen to Creedence. Whenever you're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
the Patriots, you got the Macarena, you got Around the World.
The
Really sets
New
the
England
mood.
Patriots. Yeah, Josh's Tuck Rule mix. We should release that on Spotify after this.
I DJ under the name DJ Tuck Rule.
DJ Tuck Rule.
And it's only songs from
Just-
1999 to 2001.
I've
mean,
never
that would
actually DJ'd a song. People just come fight me immediately when I show up. They're so mad.
That would be a pretty good name for a drag queen, to be honest.
DJ Tuck Rule. Love it.
Yeah. Man, so they win. They come back. They win the Tuck Rule game. Adam Vinatieri.
I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt to say
Go ahead.
a New England Patriots themed drag queen
Yeah,
was just like a Southie bartender vibe. Would be so
Exactly.
funny.
Exactly.
No, called Tuck Rule or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Ivana Tuck Rule. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, we can workshop this afterwards. And then, but I don't know, Luke, you can do it if you want. You know, I've no owner. I actually have the Lord Michaels agreement. Any characters that come out on this
no, I
podcast
didn't
I have
sign that.
ownership of. So no, you could still do it. I just am gonna, I get
You're
a
going to be the
controlling
executive
interest.
producer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if it becomes a film, I get an EP credit. So.
Mhm.
So yeah, they win the Tuck Rule game. Adam Vinatieri kicks a field goal in the snow. They go on to beat someone in the AFC title game. It's not important. And they go into the Super Bowl where they are 14-point underdogs. Again, like you forget, the Patriots weren't always the Patriots. This is the Brady Belichick Patriots,
And
and
this
they are 2 touchdown underdogs in the Super Bowl. And
against the Rams with like this was like the
mhm,
Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, who was Torrey Holt was there. I'm missing the
yeah,
big receiver though.
Isaac Bruce.
Isaac
Yeah,
Bruce.
they're just awesome. They had already
Yeah.
won one Super Bowl. They had one of the best offenses in NFL history, and everyone kind of assumed they'd crush this kind of upstart 2 seed with this weird quarterback who wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year. Patriots keep it really, really close, and the Rams tie the game with 1:30 left on a Ricky Proehl touchdown. And then the Patriots get the ball back with 1:30 left. I remember at the time too, John Madden famously saying like, I would just run the clock down, take this to overtime. Patriots go for it. They march down the field. Adam Vinatieri kicks a game-winning field goal, and this random ass team has beaten the greatest show on turf Rams for their first Super Bowl win, and maybe the last one before everyone started to get a little sick of them.
One thing that I do sometimes lose sight of is how nice it is to have a really great kicker on
For
on a
sure.
football team.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, because I grew up like Vinatieri and then Steven Gostkowski was very good. And I'm just like, oh, all kickers are good. And then like some
Mhm.
of them are bad.
And also, so many of the most heartbreaking moments in football history are a missed field goal or something. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just take for granted how badly that can swing. And yeah, he kicked that field goal against Oakland in the pouring snow. What do you call
And I
what do you call pouring?
the
It's
point,
not pouring snow, driving snow.
Driving snow. I remember
Okay.
they called the timeout and they kind of made the little path for him.
Oh wait, wasn't like a local Boston guy like made a path or something?
that was in the 80s. There was a guy drove
Oh, that's right.
a
Sorry.
snowblower onto the
I
fields,
was
and it
confusing stories. Yeah. I'm just
uh,
making shit up. Ben Affleck came out with Matt
yeah,
Damon,
he
and
was
they
there. He was
personally
there.
shoveled it in 38 seconds for the field goal. No,
It was crazy. They did it. They did a great job. Those two.
yeah.
They're so
So
good.
where did you watch that Super Bowl, and how'd you feel afterward?
Yeah, it ruled. This was also watched with family. And I was like, hell yeah, this rules. Great
Mhm.
feeling. Felt incredible. I think the first one felt the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, Luke? Do you think this was like a feeling
I
you
mean,
couldn't really
for some
recapture?
reason I kind of don't remember it. I remember being with a big group of friends from like high school and college and watching it. I think I was doing a lot of cocaine that night, which something Josh can relate to, I'm sure.
Okay.
So,
These are ad hominem attacks.
I know.
Oh
Unlike
man.
Josh, I
Or are
actually was a cocaine addict for many years. And so I think at the time I was probably like, oh, they won. That's cool. You want to go to the bathroom, man? That kind of deal.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's nothing. Sports are a drug, but drugs are also a drug.
My
So,
drug at the time was drugs.
drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I
No.
was excited, obviously. I that whole early 2000s does kind of even the next two. I don't know where I watched the next two. My memories start coming back big time in the later period, the sort of that Giants
Uh-huh.
loss era and everything after that. I remember really well, but all the other stuff, it's just kind of sanded away. One of the things about getting older is I just see like you only have so much storage.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it, but there's a few things in this I completely forgot about myself too. That Super Bowl, the halftime show was U2. They sang "Where the Streets Have No Name," and they
Oh, this was the
projected.
big post 9/11,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
projected the names of the people who had died in 9/11 during Where the Streets Have No Name. Very emotional. I mean, I don't know. What a weird, just such a weird time in America. Well, I was going to say let's segue into some more joy, but it's really misery for most of us, just for you fucking guys. It's the happy.
It ruled.
And I said to Josh before he came on, like sometimes I put together outlines before I do this, and there's some teams where I'm like, here's the big event, here's another thing that happened, the end. And for the Patriots, I'm just like, God damn, there's like 20 Super Bowls we have to talk about. I hate this. So we'll do it a little quick. 2003, the Patriots go 14-2. They beat the Colts, the Peyton Manning Colts, in the AFC Championship game, and they beat the Carolina Panthers 32-29 in the Super Bowl. That game, it was tied, and with 1 minute and 8 seconds left, John Casey, the Carolina kicker, kicked the ball out of bounds on the ensuing kickoff after a touchdown. So the Patriots got the ball on the 40, drove down the field, kicked another game-winning field goal, and they win it. 2003, any memories?
This one and the Eagles game, I watched on like tiny dorm room TVs for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, and this all sounds obvious, but like we're watching all these games on the shittiest TVs. Like you can imagine. Even like in the early 2000s when like those sort of big boxy, big screen TVs came in, they looked like shit. Like I honestly don't know how we watched before, high definition.
When they show SD highlights, I'm like, is this from like this was filmed in the same year as Wizard of Oz?
I know. It's like, no, I was like 25.
Yeah.
I love this is such a funny like early Brady era complaint of like, and the highlights aren't even in HD. Can you believe this shit?
I was just gonna you win the Super Bowl and you're just like, oh, look at this definition.
Yeah.
People so mad.
You can't even see Tommy's hair.
I can't tell the difference between Wes Welker and Danny Amendola.
You're going to go outside and there's just going to be a mob of Browns fans beating you up. You're like, the podcast isn't even uploaded yet. They're like, we heard you talking.
I did listen. I was driving around on the South Shore. I was visiting family the other day, and they had the Julian Edelman Patriots Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And I do admit that I cried while listening to it.
Wow.
No, there were Danny and Jules, man. They were, they lived together, but they were kind of an odd couple, I learned.
I didn't know
that. I did not know that. Actually, I did not know that. Oh yeah, but that was my favorite era. But we can wait to get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, 2004, they go 14-2 again. They beat the Peyton Manning Colts again. They beat the Steelers again. Then they beat the Donovan McNabb Eagles in the Super Bowl 24-21. Deion Branch, Super Bowl MVP. They later traded him to the Seahawks. Also, I remember that as Donovan McNabb puking, but I looked it up and apparently he never puked on camera. I think that was a Mandela effect thing. And some players said he was dry heaving afterwards, but he denies it and some players denied it. But anyway, the Donovan McNabb puke Super Bowl was manufactured.
My roommate at the time was a big Eagles fan. Still is a big Eagles fan.
I had a bunch of friends who were Eagles fans, including my wife.
We watched together. It's always a mistake. I always think I can handle that, or I used to.
No, it's bad. Yeah, I agree.
The second Giants Super Bowl, I was like, when I lived in New York, but I was like, I can't handle watching a game with a sincere fan of the opposing team.
No, it's not good.
I will go too crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also
can't watch with neutral parties.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to be with people that are on my level of fandom for my team. And that's it. Because I'm already going to be so nervous and so mad that then if there's one guy like, woo, there we go, boy. I'm just like, fuck you. I will kill you. Yeah.
Or even
like, what? Like
even people who are just like, where'd you get this buffalo dip? And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I graduated into that in later years, maybe like starting like 10 years ago, just needing to watch even a regular Patriots, regular season game by myself. Because in part for that, but also in part so I could like pause the game. And, this doesn't happen to me anymore in the past 5 years, but you did not want to miss a single play during most of that great run there, so like, and now, I barely even make it home in time to put on the game, which has been kind of nice, to be honest, to not have to like orient your weekend around a football game. I suppose that's just me coping, but it's actually kind of nice that they suck.
Yeah. That brutal era of important playoff game after important playoff game. And
wait, you're a Steelers fan? It's not like you're fucking in the poorhouse.
Oh, no. I'm speaking on behalf of other torture fans. I'm pretty spoiled too with my 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is unfortunately, I am very stupid and I listen to a lot of Felga and Maz on 98.5, the Sports Hub. And that's one of Felga, his cliches he always returns to is like, you want to be the Steelers. That's who you want to be. You don't win every year, but you're always a representative, good team that it doesn't bottom out. And I guess I kind of believe that now. Like this year, I'd be like, oh, it'd be so nice if they won 9 games or maybe in the hunt, towards the
Yep.
end of the season. Like I would be so psyched for that.
Well, I can
Just have
confirm everyone in Pittsburgh is pissed off and hates the coach and wants everyone fired and has not been happy for since like a week after the 2008 Super Bowl.
now Aaron Rodgers. I don't really love him as a football player, but everything else is pretty.
he he does have good medical advice. That's
Yeah,
the
He sure
thing.
does.
definitely. Yeah.
He sure
It's
does. I
Um,
wonder if RFK Jr. Is a Patriot. He probably is, right?
Oh,
Or,
I don't know. That's a good question. Because he
I,
lived as an adult in like outside New York City, right? Like
oh, did
recently.
he?
I think so. I think
I'm
that's
sure
where
he's
he was
just too
living.
weird to like care about sports. Probably does like one tweet if they were in the playoffs. He'd be like, "I'm having for the Patriots," and you're like, "What?" And then like eight more insane tweets. You're just like, "I what was that one?" Where they like
We
try
do
to seem
have
human for one tweet, you know?
we do have a lot of
Oh,
tough celebrity fans.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah. I
who do you guys
mean,
have?
well, I mean, the avatar of Boston sports is a fucking Dave Portnoy
Yeah,
for
Oh, that's
that's
true.
Barstool.
tough. The Wahlbergs being kind of like the biggest movie star. It
Yeah,
God, it was such a huge get a few years ago when Io Adebary became famous, and they were like,
yeah,
"She's
and
from
then
here. She threw out a first
she's
pitch at
cool.
a Red Sox game." Yeah, Io rules.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's very cool. And I mean, I just got to say, also on one of the most hilarious comedies on television. You know, I
I
love.
she's the best.
Have you met
And
her?
I have. Yeah, we knew
Yeah.
each other a little bit before she moved to LA. And then this I think this is okay to say. The last time we like hung out at all was like late spring 2022, right before the Bear premiered, and we did Wilco's Music Festival. They have like a comedy room at their Solid Sound Festival
Mhm.
in Western Massachusetts. And it was a bunch of really fun people. But Io and I were chatting backstage, and she was like, "I don't really know that much about Wilco, the band." And then and we were like, "What have you been up to?" She's like, "Oh, I just shot this." She just shot Bottoms in Louisiana, and she was like, "I
Uh,
got this TV show coming out." And then the Bear comes out like 1.5 months later, and it's just wall to wall Wilco, which of course she couldn't have known because they don't play
oh
it while
wow,
she's
that's
Oh
acting,
funny.
yeah,
and it like really
yeah.
made me laugh. And she wasn't being flippant. She wasn't being like, "Who are these guys?" It's like she was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is not like I'm so happy to be here, but like this is not a band that I like go
Uh-huh.
deep with." And then just like wall to wall on the show.
That is funny.
So, 2006, the Patriots lose in the AFC Championship game finally to Peyton Manning, and Manning finally gets the Super Bowl. So, for years, and really, I think still, I don't really think the Brady Manning debate is much of a debate anymore. I feel like for years it was like Manning has the stats, but Brady's got the rings. And now it's kind of like Brady has the rings and the stats, and
Yeah,
Manning has some rings and some and the stat. I feel like no one would
that one,
argue
that one
Manning
I
over Brady
do.
at this point, I don't think.
That one I do remember, and that's one of those ones that's one. Yeah, that's one Brady should have had. Like we should not have lost that game to the Colts. And then who they play the Bears and that there's like some shitty Bears
Yeah, they
team
beat
that they
the
won.
like Rex
Yeah,
Grossman,
that
Lovey
so that
Smith
one
Bears.
we actually count that one as a Super Bowl for Brady. That one counts.
Yeah, okay. That's
And
fair.
and
Yeah.
and I would think I said this to you guys before, but whether it's a product of age or just everything sucking so bad, like I can't find it in my heart to really hate teams anymore.
Mm.
It's even
I definitely don't the way I used to, for sure.
right. But back then, I hated the Colts and Peyton
Hmm.
Manning. I hated them so much, and I can't believe how much of my life I've spent like tying my own emotion and my own sense of personality and self-worth to Tom fucking Brady, the weirdest man to ever live. Like what a and that's what we do as sports fans. I don't know why I care. I wish Brady hadn't turned out to be such a fucking freak, but he still is the greatest football player of all time, and you can't take that away. I was going to say you can't take the memories away, but I barely remember all those first Super Bowls.
You can with
Yeah,
a
I
certain substance, yeah.
with enough cocaine.
I I think I'm less of a hater, but it's more focused. Like I remember this morning waking up and just kind
Do
of
you
like
remember this
present.
morning?
I remember this morning, not to brag. I've got pretty good clarity of the last 7 or 8 hours.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And but I remember that I woke up and I was browsing online and I saw that Cal Raleigh hit 2 home runs last night, and I was like, God, it would be great if he beat Aaron Judge's AL record. Like I
Yeah.
really thought that as like a pure, I was like, God, there's like a level of hater that is in me that just gets activated like a sleeper cell
Yeah.
Yeah.
when like Yankee stuff is
But
involved.
we can come out. Like I specifically will hate any Celtics playoff series, whoever the sixth man on the other team that comes
Mhm.
on and hits like two or three threes. I don't know. It's like, this motherfucker, I hate you. Who is this
Haywood
guy?
Highsmith. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's my least favorite guy is the guys like he should not be beating
Mhm.
us right now.
That Caleb Martin Miami Heat series was
Yes,
a
yes.
crusher. Yeah.
I do have a little hate for the Heat because they haven't been not as much lately, but they've been kind of like a stick in the Celtics eye for years,
Yeah.
off and on. Who do you hate, Dan? You do hate the Ravens? Because I hated the Ravens for a long time too, but now
Yeah, I
it's just like, yeah,
definitely don't like the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, really hated the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots owned the Steelers during that era. Both
yeah.
times the Steelers won the Super Bowl, they didn't go through New England. So,
Well,
uh,
your quarterback was a real normal guy too, so that was
yeah,
cool.
right. Yeah, it's just yeah. I feel like we can just separate the sports from the artists across the board here. I
I
feel
mean,
like these guys are
we'll
all
get
fucking weirdos slash
we'll hit
criminals.
2016 was a bad one. That was like it really was a mask off year for like with
Oh
the
yeah.
like vertically integrated within the Patriots organization with the pro Trump
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah, everyone. And that was so I had to, I interviewed a bunch of the players over the years. I interviewed Brady a couple of times and Gronk and Edelman and Dan Light and
For what was the context for?
for Esquire. I was working at Esquire at the time
Okay.
and it was usually I had to come in through like the side door at it, like, oh, for Brady's got some new Uggs out or something. But then yeah, I'd be like, oh, I'll go talk about Uggs. But the one time I got him to say anything was during the cap. When was Kaepernick's whole thing? Was that 2000? What fucking year was that? The kneeling. Then they always be like, don't ask about anything serious. But of course
Oh
I
no, it
would
was
anyways.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got him to say a little something. I mean, for Brady, it was a little something.
Uh-huh.
But wait, why did I start talking
We were
about
talking
that? I
about
don't remember.
finding out the personal beliefs of the athletes
Oh,
you
right,
you
right.
love, which is
But I
always
fucking
great. It's always a
loved
good
Brady,
idea.
dude. And like for years, I asked him to record. My wife's a teacher, and I asked him to like record a message to Miss Crowley's class, and tell the kids to like pay attention to Miss Crowley and all this stuff. And you would not believe that the husband of the year right there, because she got to play that like every year to her kids, to
Oh,
be
that's
like,
so cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
So
rules.
I mean, obviously he's not a fucking, he's not murdering people. Although we'll see what happens when he goes to Saudi Arabia. But
Is he going for the comedy festival?
no, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna his new special is
He's
coming out.
co-headlining with Kevin Spacey. He's like,
Yeah, no,
what? Like,
he's
it's
actually
a pretty good act. Like, don't judge
he,
it.
yeah, he's doing the some flag football tournament. It was reported that he's getting paid 75 million to go play flag football. And this is interesting. And I didn't really follow up on it. I just saw like a headline. Portnoy was actually calling him out for it, which is
Oh yeah.
strange. I'm certainly not going to hand it to Dave Portnoy, but it's weird that we now have Brady and Belichick as these just sort of content creators now.
Yeah. No,
Even though
definitely.
they're both still affiliated with with football in official ways, but these two people that
Brady
were
in
like,
like kind of conflicting official
I
ways.
know,
Yeah.
I
As a
know.
broadcaster and owner of another team. Yeah.
That's
I just
All right.
haven't
so
really
funny.
been able to get it up for that lately, though, considering
It's
like
so funny.
every single day of our life is Watergate times 10,
Yeah.
So it's like I
True.
can't really.
Yeah. In terms
And
of
I
conflict
don't
of interest. You're like,
Right.
care.
that was
I just
ever a thing? Interesting.
Yeah. Right. It's like, oh no, it's all in my interest. There's no conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
interests are completely
Yeah.
aligned.
I'll admit it. And what's anyone going to do? You're like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Good point.
But it's so funny because he signed that huge contract with what, Fox, right? And then
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna start this year. And then he started and he was like, also I own one of the teams. Don't worry about it. Sorry. Can
Some
you give me
history
one
here.
second? I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no, that's fine.
I'll be right
Go for
back.
it. Okay.
He's going to do a bump.
Yeah. I can leave this in now.
I would leave this in. All right. Just between you and me,
Yeah.
I never liked that kid, Josh. I
Slipping into
think
your
he
real voice instead of your
I think
pundit
he
voice.
thinks he's better than me.
He comes back, your shirt's off. You're just like about to
Yeah.
fight him. He's like, "What the fuck?" Just like this whole conversation happened in your head.
Don't make me do it.
My doorbell kept ringing, and there's nothing that my dog hates more than the doorbell, except
Oh,
for any other dog.
Oh,
okay.
your dog hates the doorbell more than he hates racism and fascism?
That's right. That's right.
Boston blue
That's my
sky comment guy.
that's yeah,
She has
that's my
bad values. She's so
that's
cute. She has terrible values.
that's my blue sky impression.
Only a matter of time
This pug
before
has
Trump takes
great
away our
genes.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're having fun here, boys, aren't we? Couple of laughs. But anyways, where were we in the
Oh,
Patriots?
So
We're talking about the Patriots.
well,
Eagles.
we can gloss over it, but 2007 Patriots go 16-0, win 2 playoff games, lose in the Super Bowl to the Giants. 2011 they also lose in the Super Bowl to the Giants. How did you react when they lost those games? Because like you said, you didn't really have the perspective of, oh well, we've been so successful, whatever. It seems like you were kind of maximum mad.
Yeah, I didn't feel good.
You're
I
watching
felt
with
bad about
Giants
it.
fans?
And I really liked, like, I loved that Randy Moss season.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
He was such an electric player to watch, and it was really exciting. And then for them to lose to the Giants, and the first one was the helmet catch, right? The David
Hmm.
Tyree helmet
Hmm.
catch, which was like crush. If that had been in favor of a team I rooted for, I would be like, put a mural of that on City Hall, and I'll like salute it whenever I walk by. But like because it was against me, I was furious and remain furious.
And also, they fucking held like 10 times on that play.
I,
Uh,
I
uh,
I feel like the amount of stuff that would have to happen for anyone to sympathize with the Patriots, and it's like they could have just like I don't know, just shot a dude on the sidelines in that play, and no one would
Yeah,
be
I,
what if the Patriots' mom got cancer and died? Would you sympathize with them then? Or are you heartless? You
the
heartless piece
uh,
of shit.
I
yeah.
mean, in 2007, I don't know, maybe not. Now I feel a little bit.
That first Giants one I watched, I had finished college and was watching, I think, and was watching with my parents were like, "Oh, bring your roommates over. We'll have a good time." And I had a couple of roommates that were I consider myself an artsy guy, but they are like not, they're like kind of not sports people, but they're like, we like a party. And I was like, oh, this is the wrong energy for this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
are
Yeah.
competing energies in this room and I'm going crazy. And then the second one I watched at the Creek in the Cave, formerly of Long Island City, New York, which has since moved to Austin. But
Mhm.
and it was like much heavier New York football fan presence, and the Giants won that one, and that was one that I had to like leave with a friend and be like, I can't be around these people right now.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I actually can't remember the second one, but the first one, like I said, I wanted to get in a fight. I was at like a sort of musician, band people type of party for that, and there
Mhm.
was lots of people who didn't really care and were like loudly, proclaiming it. And I just remember just
Real
wanted to,
sports ball attitude.
Oh
yeah, total
God, I
sports
hate
ball.
that so much.
It's
Yeah, that's
probably a
back when
bunch of
that was like novel a little bit. I hated it.
yeah. So, but I don't remember the second Giants where I was for the second one, but I know that I was pissed off. I'll tell you that.
I was in some location pissed off. I forget exactly
Yeah,
where. Yeah. 2015 was the Deflate Gate year. I don't know if you have thoughts about that. Brady suspended for 4 games.
innocent.
Well, 2014 they win the Super Bowl again. Just gloss over it, whatever. They beat Seattle. Seattle driving for the winning score inside the 5-yard line. They throw an
They decide
interception.
to throw instead of running.
Yes.
Just
Uh,
an all-time bad play call.
but I remember
Yes.
the big pass to get them there. Remember that feeling? Who was it? Lockett, who made like some insane catch on the sideline,
Yeah.
and that was shortly after we hadn't. Please, I'm saying this in the saddest tone you've ever heard. We hadn't won a Super Bowl in like 10 years at that point. You have
Yeah,
to
they
understand.
there was a long gap, and if they hadn't won that, and then they had some subsequent ones, but like there might have been the first one, then those two, and then Brady and Belichick losing for 15 years or something.
Yeah, yeah,
They're a
and
play
that. But
away from
anyways,
that
that
happening.
that catch down the sideline, I instantly had the same feeling from those two stupid Giants plays. Like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose another one. but then they didn't. So fuck you.
That one felt great. I love that one too. That was a great feeling.
That's up there as one of that's probably the second best for me. Just because that was such a dominant Seahawks team, and Brady was just fucking magical in that second half, if I recall correctly.
And they defeat Pete Carroll, the brief
Yeah,
former coach of the Patriots. 2015 Deflategate, Brady suspended 4 games. Patriots fined $1 million and forfeit 2 draft selections for
Worth it.
knowingly deflating footballs during the 2014 AFC Championship game against the Colts.
This might be an unpopular opinion. I do think it's fine to cheat at sports.
Okay.
I'm into. I think Deflategate's good. I'm glad they did it. I'll say this. This is more unpopular because this didn't benefit me. I think the Astros pitch tipping is also fine. I don't give a shit.
What do you think about the Kawhi stuff?
I think it's hilarious.
Wow.
I think but I do think for that,
yeah.
I don't think Kawhi should get in trouble, but I do think the Clippers should. Because
Yeah.
I don't like when rich people get away with doing financial crimes.
Yeah. If you don't know, people don't know, they were paying him like for a no-show job, like tens of millions of dollars on the side, to
endorse basically a fraudulent company that they said they did like planted trees.
Yeah. I don't really love that part, but I mean, most athletes are fucking have these bullshit charities too. That's like a whole other
definitely.
thing. Where they just pay, whoever, their brother, $250,000 a year to pretend to do nothing. But hey, I'll take it if anyone wants to give me $1 million to no show at a job.
I'll tell you what.
Just
for
like,
$1 million,
Kawhi,
I'll show up every once in a while.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you what. For $1 million, I will show up.
I'll do a job for $1 million.
I will do it. Well, then wait a minute though. What are the hours?
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Wake up by 9. Give me a break, man. Yeah. I don't know whether or not Deflategate happened, whatever, it was overblown, but I do have a medium conspiracy theory that I feel like the NFL really pushed it because they dominated the news cycle in the offseason. It was like this harmless, kind of funny scandal that involved the Patriots. So it was every headline in like, I forget when it was. It was like the offseason when there's no NFL going on. Everyone was talking about the NFL. They weren't talking about other sports. They weren't talking about domestic abuse. They weren't talking about concussions, et cetera.
And it makes the NFL look like, quote unquote, tough on crime to like come down on Tom Brady like that.
Yeah, this was the peak. This was probably the peak of Patriots hatred, nationwide. No one would have given a shit if it wasn't Brady and the Patriots.
No, I don't think so, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely the biggest story in the world because it was them, and I think the NFL pushed it.
It was a scandal where, like, when the text messages came out, they were hilariously on the nose. Like when that evidence was released of like, all right, time to do the special thing we do.
They call it's almost like you could see like the Trump administration setting up, like when the dude was like, I'm the deflator, time to deflate the balls.
Then they deny JD Vance is like, you're not letting an equipment manager just do his job. And then meanwhile, Trump is tweeting like, please deflate the balls so we can win. And you're like, wait, what? They're admitting it. Never mind.
Yeah. That's kind of how people talk about right wing. Whenever someone on the right does something now, they describe it in the most anodyne terms.
Yeah.
Like they break it down. Yes. Oh, so you don't appreciate someone having a fondness for their family members?
Yeah,
or something like
that is, they are being accused of incest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're against family?
Sometimes balls are more inflated. Sometimes they're less inflated. What's the? It's like, I don't know. This text message says, "Please deflate the balls so we can hold them better and win." It's like, well, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so 2016. Hey, good segue though. Speaking of Trump, 2016. We already did a Falcons episode about this game, so that it was the worst day in the world to be a Falcons fan. Probably a shit-eating grin day to be a Patriots fan. But 2016, actually January 2017, right after Trump is elected, the Patriots play the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Now, the lead up to this, we found out Bill Belichick wrote a congratulatory letter to Trump. I think that he had in his
handwritten
office.
letter.
Yes,
stunk.
I did not believe that at the time.
Same.
But But now that everything we know about Belichick, I believe it.
Yeah. Brady was in a post-game interview. They saw that he had a MAGA hat in his locker. I think
Yep.
he said it was like a gift or something, and he just
He
like
was
threw
like,
it
oh,
in
he's
there.
like a personal friend. It's like not a
Yeah.
political thing. And it's like, well, it
Yeah.
is campaign merchandise.
And Robert Kraft, of course, being weird, rich, sex billionaire guy,
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
connection to Trump. So there's all these connections to Trump. I remember Richard Spencer, the neo-Nazi, had tweeted that he was rooting for the Patriots because they're
That was bad.
consistently the NFL's whitest team.
I know.
That
Oh,
didn't
Yeah.
feel good.
So
and that
yeah.
reminds me, isn't Ben Shapiro a big Celtics
Big
fan too?
Celtics fan. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Humiliating. Yeah.
So yeah, so this is the lead up, and then they go to play the Falcons team that has never won a Super Bowl. They've only made one other Super Bowl, got blown out. Everyone in the world is rooting for the Patriots, and this is right after Trump just got elected, and so everyone's, not everyone's pissed off. A lot of people are happy, but a certain segment of the population is pissed off.
I don't have no problem forgetting where I was for this Super Bowl. I just put it in the chat for you.
That rules.
Oh, nice. Oh God.
Where was
Yeah.
that?
Houston.
Oh, right on.
I posted a picture of me and my wife with like, that's the only time that photo has been taken of me where I look happy.
At the misery of the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, so that we went to that
Right,
game.
you were riding high off Trump getting elected, so you're already in a really good mood. Yeah.
That was actually my wife's first football game she's ever been to, and I was like,
Jesus
they're not
Christ.
usually, yeah,
Wow.
they're not usually,
What
not
a
usually
game.
like this.
Uh-huh.
But I have obviously I have pretty intense memories of that game because it fucking sucked. Like again, being a shithead Patriots fan, I feel like it's safe to say that sucked. First half sucked for a Patriots fan because they were
Yeah.
getting killed.
Yeah.
And I literally tried to leave. I wanted to pull a Mocky Mock and get the fuck out of there. And my wife was like, "No, this. How often are we going to be at the Super Bowl? Let's just stay." And I was like, "Fine, we'll stay."
Man.
And I was trying to get drunk. I couldn't do it because I was drinking like the only way to get a whiskey was in like a 15-ounce iced tea lemonade type of thing. And I was like,
For $450,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible to get drunk at an NFL game. But the other thing about that game, and then NFL games in general, you can see we have pretty good seats there, but you cannot tell what's going on. Like especially with stuff like the Edelman catch, which is one of the greatest catches I've seen in my life. You have no idea that happened when you're there live. Like I have no desire to ever go back to a live NFL game unless you tell me like the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, the greatest comeback of all time. Then fine, would maybe go. If they come back, they're going to come back from 35 to 2. I'd be like, fine.
They had a safety in the first half.
Yeah. So that Super Bowl, the Patriots go down 28-3 midway through the third quarter. They, this isn't just they're trailing. They are trailing, and it is nearly impossible time-wise for them to even come back. But then pretty much everything possible happens. They come all the way back. They force overtime. They missed an extra point too, and they still overcame that. I don't know. So basically all of America is watching in horror as the Patriots do their bullshit. It goes to overtime. They win. Once overtime started, I don't know if you guys felt this way, but everyone in the world is like, oh, well, they won it.
Brady's got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Just the momentum and just knowing the Patriots are going to do their fucking thing. And so they win. They win that game. And I don't know, the early Patriots coinciding with the rise of the Bush terror agenda. And then they resurge right as Trump wins. Interesting connections here that someone, I don't know, maybe it's the newsletter thing for you to unpack here, Luke. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think the Patriots are innocent in everything that they did on the field, anyways. Yeah. On the field.
As opposed to our other team's owners who are not billionaires who love Trump.
Oh, Kraft sucks too.
Yeah, he's brutal.
Yeah. And then we'll just wrap things up real quick.
Wait a minute. Sorry, you're talking about Meek Mill's friend. Absolutely shit-eating mayoral candidate. Was it Josh Kraft?
My God. That was like one good thing that happened is that at least that something a billionaire can't buy is Boston. This is our fucking city. You know
Dude,
what I mean?
do you remember this is like around 2016? No, it was earlier because Menino was still alive, obviously, because Chick-fil-A announced they were expanding to Boston, and Tom Menino, who's the mayor of Boston for like 20 years until he passed away in 2014, 2015, he wrote a letter that was like, you're not coming here. It's like telling a business explicitly not to expand to the city. Because
He
it was
well
kind of
he
at the height
he,
of like the Chick-fil-A evangelical
he
Oh
anti-marriage
yeah.
equality stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had his moments. He did a couple of good things.
Then 2018, I have no memory of this. When I was preparing this podcast, I was like, what? They beat the Rams 13-3 and won another Super Bowl. I'm like, what the fuck was this game? This is
Yeah, that was
7
like
years
a
ago. I have no memory of this.
that was like when you go back and look at like a band that you really like and you're looking through their discography, like, oh, they put out an album that year. I don't even
Yes.
remember this
No,
one.
it absolutely is. They won a,
It's like a
it's
there's like a
like,
Super Bowl, like they found a spare Super Bowl on the couch cushions. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. There's teams that would just kill to get to one Super Bowl, and the Patriots are winning afterthought ones. And even I, a big sports fan, and this is
This
semi recently, I don't remember. So
this is gonna make me sound like more of an asshole even saying how
great, say
bad
it.
the losses felt. I remember I watched this. I lived in this apartment that I live in now, and I watched it at home, just like my wife was like just doing whatever on the couch next to me, and I was just like, I'm gonna throw this on, and they won, and I felt next to nothing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
she's
you're just watching your team win the Super Bowl stoically. Like, okay,
it's like a
I
drug
felt
addiction, right? You're
I felt
yeah,
getting
one
going up your
onion ring and the
tolerance.
bag of
it is,
fries
it
good.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a good analogy. It is like you have to up the dose. You know, that's
Yeah, you're
why those Seahawk and Falcons ones were great because if you don't want to watch an action movie where the guy has to get the shit kicked out of him, the hero, in order
yeah.
for it to be cool when he comes back. If you watched a movie where a guy just like beats everyone up the whole time and never, loses, it would suck. It'd be like watching another Rock movie, actually, come to think of it.
This is again tangential, but I just heard Bob Odenkirk on I think it was on Mike Birbiglia's podcast talking about the Nobody movies, and
Mm.
he was saying that he was selling getting the shit kicked out of him too hard, and they were like, it's actually really sad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like pull it back.
He's great though.
Yeah, he rules. He was great. He's great in Glengarry Glen
I
Drops. He's
people,
awesome.
you guys should check. People, if you don't know, check him out, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, so they win another one. Then things get a little weird. Tom Brady leaves the Patriots, immediately wins Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How did
And
you
Gronk.
feel? Yeah, and Gronk.
Yeah.
How did you feel watching that? And in retrospect, like Brady immediately winning combined with Belichick's post Brady Patriots career, does it make you view like who deserves the credit differently now?
Well, the fact that Tom Brady left the Patriots and immediately won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is so funny.
It
It's
is.
like
Yeah.
like everyone
He's,
else who
he's in his
hated
40s.
Brady must have been like, "Are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me?"
My
Like,
attitude
not
is very
even
like,
didn't even take one seat. It took
no,
one next year. Boom, won the Super Bowl again. I'm Tom
my
Brady.
attitude was like, good for him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good for him.
Yeah, he
I
should
was
take it too,
rooting. I
man.
was rooting for him though, especially since it's against the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
That Super Bowl. Yeah, and so like with the Manning years, about we have to hear about Mahomes in these past few years, and Mahomes is a very special talent and he's great and all that, but
Mhm.
he is not Tom Brady, and he's not going to be Tom Brady. Again, a real fucking weirdo in real life, but the greatest football player of all time. So I can get a little spite up for the Chiefs. I was definitely rooting for Brady and Gronk in that Super Bowl. Was that the Cam Newton year for the Patriots?
Oh,
Yeah, it
that
must
was
have
a
been. Right?
bad one.
That was tough. It's not like we had much to go on. Yeah, the team has just sucked so bad since then.
We
Mhm.
did gloss over one more Super Bowl,
Oh, the Eagles
the
lost.
Eagles loss, which
Oh,
was
that's right.
painful, but I was kind of like, all right, we're square.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To Nick
I
Foles.
I think I blacked out for that one. I remember. I think I and I don't often do this, but I think I threw the remote control for that one. That was not. And I was very quickly learned that I would not be permitted to ever do that again. So But yeah, I'm ashamed to say I threw the remote control for that one.
My in-laws are Philly fans, and so they were all, and that the Eagles hadn't ever won, so they were really really into that. And then Carson Wentz, the starter, got hurt, so they were making this playoff run with Nick Foles, who's just a generic backup quarterback, and they beat the mighty Patriots. So I feel like
Well, as we
probably
learned in the
everyone
chants
was,
after the game, not so generic.
Wait.
Those are
Say
the
that
Big Dick
again?
Nick chants.
Oh,
Oh,
right. I
okay.
forgot it. I
I didn't
forgot
remember
about
that
how
either.
big his
Yeah.
penis was.
That's what I bring to the podcast.
Forgot to
I
put that
gotta
in the
say that
outline. Yeah.
the Eagles, Philly. I've been kind of happy for Philly, because Philly and Boston are sort of brotherly type cities, and there aren't too many rivals. Like the Sixers and the Celtics are traditionally rivals, but it hasn't really been that hot in the past few years, 10 years, whatever. But I think my goodwill for Philly is done. I gave him a couple years. Same as it was with the Bills. Like I was happy for the Bills when they first, like the Patriots were sucking and the Bills started making the playoffs. I was like, oh, good for them. I don't have any hatred for the Bills, but that's done. So I'll give you like a couple of years.
I also think like what you said is so important. I do think Philly and Boston are more alike than many people give either city credit or blame for. And I feel like one more Super Bowl and like a World Series win and people will turn.
They're going to turn on Philly. Yeah. They are kind of lovable now.
They're having their kind of like 04 Red Sox moment.
Similar though, they were up against Mahomes, and so like
Yeah.
public
Yeah.
Very
sentiment was
sympathetic.
rooting for the Eagles, just like they were up against Brady. And now it's like at some point, I wonder if it's like, wait a minute, now they're the team everyone's kind of sick of.
No, I think everyone hates the Chiefs. People are sick of the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, they're
And
number
it's
one.
and the Chiefs are get it kind of from both sides of like there's just like the dynastic thing that people don't like. There's again like a level, like a less thick level, but like a layer of Trump coziness with some of the folks.
Yeah.
And then there's also like then the people on the right hate them again because a woman goes to the game sometimes.
Yeah,
And so
they show
so
her.
conservatives
They
hate that,
show
yeah.
her on my TV.
I know
I
she's
don't
on
even see
TV
this
for
shit.
it's the least Taylor Swift is ever on TV.
Yeah.
Any other
Right.
hour, 3 hour period, you'll see her
Right.
more
Could
on
you please
television.
only cut to the like weird desiccated owner guy, like pretending
know.
I
to
want to
be
see
enthusiastic?
someone with a racist sign written on poster board.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like. I say what you will about the Chiefs, though. I do like the chant that they do. That's pretty cool.
So looking back at all of this, and normally I feel like my last question usually is like, do you think you'll ever see your tortured fan base win a Super Bowl? Obviously, can't do that here. How does it feel to have rooted for the team that was basically the villains? That so many people hate. Like, do you kind of embrace the like hater nature of it, or
Yeah, rules. If other people wanted to feel good, they should have won all those Super Bowls.
They hate us because they ain't us, Josh.
That's it. And we hate us for the right reason.
That's right. No, yeah. To be clear, me and Josh both hate Boston sports fans, but perfectly calibrated. We're the
That's
good
right.
guys.
We're the ones with the right opinions. It's the two of us. My dad, my buddy Jay.
I mean, if you don't also hate your own team and fan base, like something's wrong. Everyone does. Like Steeler fans hate the Steelers so much, but yeah.
Just if you're feeling too good about being a Boston sports fan, just read the comments on any single Boston Globe article ever, no matter what it's
I
about.
mean, fucking read the article half the time.
Yeah, true. Slightly more erudite version of
Just like a
Oklahoma.
call about David Ortiz not running hard enough after a ground ball.
Yeah,
Oh
in
my
a Patriots game,
Yeah,
it's like
that's right.
Jesus Christ! It's like I'm still mad about it. I don't care. Yeah,
It's like no, seriously though. For as long as I started writing there like 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, it's Boston Globe comments. It's a fucking storm front. It's like fucking seriously. It's
Yeah.
brutal. It's
Yeah.
very strange.
Is it possible even to go back to rooting for just like a regular team? Like even if they're good again, they're not the Patriots. It's like you experience this like once in a lifetime thing that so few fans will ever get to experience. And now it's like, all right, let's, see what Drake May has. Let's see if they can squeak into the playoff. It's like the regular up and downs of a regular team after going through all that. Like, what does that even feel like?
Sucks. No, I've like I said earlier, I've calibrated my emotions a little bit better now. Like my life doesn't revolve around it.
Yeah.
But you can still, like the other day, I was like, okay, if they win this game, that they're going to be 2-1, and it looks like I'm going to have a year of quality entertainment ahead of me, And then I didn't, and then they didn't, and I was pissed off. I was pissed off that whole afternoon. So yeah, I'm still the same. It's not the same thing, but it's just you do revert to being like they're just a regular team now. It's like if you go see your favorite band and they're like 50, 60 years old now and they're not selling those stadiums, you can still get excited when they play your favorite songs, but it's not the same.
Luke and I talked about this a bunch in like 2016, 2017, but it was like kind of hard to root for them, except for how great that Super Bowl was and how mad it made everyone.
Yeah.
But it was like it was like a very, very politically bleak time for the NFL, which I think is like there's not been any kind of like improvement there, and I feel like the Patriots having a downturn while all these things are all still true, I'm just kind of like I can like disengage and feel like it's an act of activism.
Right. But fortunately, I was going to say at least we had the Celtics won the championship, but now we're long-suffering fans again without Tatum, so we're back to the underdogs. Although I still think they can make a run with
I feel like this Celtics season is really gonna like drive people to the brink of madness. We've already started getting is Tatum coming back this season rumors.
Yeah, no.
People are going, I'm gonna go insane fully. My league pass, like I just looked at my credit card statement and my league pass just went through and I'm like, all right, time to fucking buckle up. Just ready for this.
You're like Bob Odenkirk and Nobody.
Just getting the shit kicked out of me.
Josh about to murder an entire like cartel of people because the Patriots went like 7-10 one year.
God, I would love 7-10.
I would love to see Josh murder people.
Yeah. Well, we're about to see it.
Well, and he could be like Josh. I don't know if you've talked to your agent, but Bob was never really much of a
That's true.
ass kicker type of guy. Yeah. You could maybe get one of those Marvel deals where they give you the
good steroids and whatnot.
Yeah, the Kumail,
Josh just ripped 12-pack abs.
Yeah,
for this podcast. That. Like, why did you get so jacked?
I got really ripped for this podcast. Yeah,
I told you it's audio. You're like they can hear it, man. Right. They can feel.
It's audio. Yeah.
Feel the.
I have one last little thing, which is my. I told the story on stage for a number of years, but my grandmother was cremated in a Brady jersey.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a fact. She passed away. She had cancer and she went into the hospital pretty consistently, was in the hospital pretty consistently for like the end of 2014 and died right after Thanksgiving. And I'd bought her a Brady jersey and it was on the wall of her hospital room. And when she passed away, they asked my aunt, they're like, is there anything meaningful that she'd like gotten special dispensation from a rabbi to be cremated and could still be buried in a Jewish cemetery. And my aunt was like, oh, the Patriots are really like something she looked forward to at the end of her life. And like watching the games, she delayed a chemo treatment one time by like a night to watch the game on a Thursday.
Oh my God.
And so she was cremated in the jersey. So that is kind of like a pretty undeniable commitment.
Yeah, that's touching story. Did she have to ask the rabbi to get buried in the Patriots jersey? Was that
no? That actually it was a New England Boston area rabbi. So he was like, yeah, that we're on board. But speaking of crying and tearing up, when they won the Super Bowl in February 2015 against the Seahawks, I was like among other people and just like started fucking sobbing.
Oh yeah,
I was like, I'm like tearing up right now. It's like very emotional.
Oh man.
But that is like, I don't know. It just like we create meaning where we find meaning. We create meaning.
Sure,
so like, it was like a very beautiful thing to share.
That's her. Lovely.
I was just imagining like my aunt being cremated, but with a Brady jersey, not wearing it.
Out of spite.
She just wants to like burn a Brady jersey as she's being cremated too.
Brings actual Brady in there with her.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's flammable at this point.
You can't.
He's either not flammable or way too flammable.
Yeah.
The TB12 makes you immune to fire, like some kind of like D&D monster.
Well, it's like, a lot of stretching,
yeah,
that's what it's all about.
He can only be wounded with +1 weapons. Yeah. It's just like, well, you can't be buried in a Pittsburgh area cemetery with any article of Patriots clothing. So that's kind of like the Jewish cemetery tattoo thing, but
That's
it's just,
right.
Yeah, this is really, really great. Yeah, we went a little long, but it's because with all of our political asides.
I'm chatty.
No. I prefer to go long because I'll cut it down, but it's just we have like 20 random political asides, which I knew and was.
You know who else prefers to go long? Tommy fucking Brady. 60 yards to Edelman, right up the middle.
I thought you were going to say Big Dick Nick Foles.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, him too.
That's our show for the week. Thanks again to Josh and Luke for coming on to talk about the New England Patriots, the team we never get sick of talking about. Folks, if you like the show, please leave an iTunes review or just tell some people about it. We'll be back next Tuesday with an all-new episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone.